let's look at a theme with massive growth potential. First off, read this disclaimer carefully. In this video, we will look at one of the Megatrend themes that I have designed. Specifically, we will look at holograms. So you can see here that, let's just click into it. The performance is pretty extreme, massively outperforming the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, huge moves. Though you can see here that we are quite away from the 52-week highs. So definitively, it is a very good example of how you just need to look at the gains. You know, where can you get a big gain? You know, that's the question you should ask. If you look here at the prices of these stocks, it certainly varies a lot. You have some really like definitively penny stock like Provision, but there's more action in the Neonode and Microvision. So what I thought we should do is that we will look at we will start here by looking here at Neonode. Here is Neonode's website. So they are the go-to company for advanced optical touch, gesture control, and remote sensing solutions. So if you go here to application areas, then you can see, if you go here to it like touch sensing, then you can see that, gesture sensing, primer, and could be in monitoring. There's also a bit of a holographic touch screen. Yeah, so basically they have a broad portfolio, a lot of very interesting, you know, futuristic products. Here is some of the recent development, weekly data points, going all back to 2017. What I like here with the Neonode is this rounding bottom pattern. We are seeing some pullback. There is resistance. Sometimes these battles between the bulls and the bears, they can resolve themselves into like a cup and handle pattern. Something that is very good to see is that the accumulation distribution line, it definitely increased during this rally. So there are some serious buyers behind it. It is important to be aware that these kinds of stocks, they are for people with a strong stomach, like this pullback here as an example. Let's actually measure it from well, let's go to the daily data points. Here we see, you know, the most recent development with the daily data points. Okay, so the thing about these kinds of stocks, okay, they are big movers, big moves, okay? All the way up here, all of a sudden you have 151% gain in 24 days. Then you have a pullback, you know, from this high down to this low, all of a sudden minus 39% pullback, and then you have this pullback here, all of a sudden we pull back minus 23%, only to rally a pretty astonishing 49%. So this is a fantastic stock if you want to see some big moves. Longer term, you could make a strong case for this industry. I mean, holograms, I do think that they are the future. The challenge with the businesses and Neonode give you exposure to is that, you know, there is a lot of research and development. It can be a bit challenging to sell it because of, you know, it's you know, very like futuristic. But looking long term, I'm definitively bullish on this theme, holograms. And there's probably going to be a lot more stocks that will be fitting inside this theme going forward. When I make a theme, I want the stocks to be as pure play as possible. Hence, I don't want, as an example, Microsoft, they do have some projects in holograms, but you cannot make the case that Microsoft is a hologram company. Hence, it doesn't make sense to put like Microsoft there, even though they are doing some interesting things. Then again, these smaller companies are very good acquisition candidates. So let's dive a bit deeper here. There are no options for Neon, no big surprise, it's not that liquid. Here I can get some information here about shares outstanding, 9.7 million US dollars. Average volume around 228,000 shares, so definitively, you know, limited. The gains have been fantastic over the last year. You have 267%. Year to date, 377%, monstrously outperforming the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, notwithstanding that there's been some very substantial corrections. Technically, looking at the most recent development, I'm not a huge fan of us breaking through here this green 50-day moving average. There is definitely some weakness, so this is one of those stocks you want to buy when the bears relax a bit. Let's dive a bit more. One of the things I like to look at is, of course, the difference between the current share price, $9.26, and the analyst price target. Here you can see some analysts, not that many. You got, some that are quite low, some that are much higher, so definitively an incredibly mixed bag. So this is a very old rating from January. Okay, so let's so you can see that the difference here is minus 14%, but you don't read too much into this because there's not that many analysts, and some of these are some very quite old data. Okay, here is Saks.com. They don't have a Saks rank nor style scores because it's it hasn't attracted enough attention, volume-wise, or if you look at the market cap, it's small, 100 million US dollars market cap. Okay. So to sum up my take here on this theme and also this stock, so you can see here that there are multiple stocks in this theme. That adds diversification. You have other stocks that's moved a lot more, others that's been less. So there's many ways to analyze stocks and companies more broadly, and that's to look at technicals, fundamentals, but also something I like to look at is the more qualitative analysis, because from looking at the world long term, decades into the future, ask yourself the question: will holograms be a thing that's going to be around? Will it become more prevalent or less? I think you could make a very strong case it will become far more prevalent. It is very interesting. It is still, futuristic in the sense that it's quite pricey. There's a lot of research and development to perfect it, but those companies that do nail this are either going to become massive companies or they will be incredibly good acquisition candidates. Hence, I find it very difficult to become bearish on this theme long term. To be perfectly clear, the stocks in these kinds of burgeoning, emerging industries will be very volatile. You definitively do not want to fight the trend. Be very careful. But long term, think about it yourself. Holograms, are they the future or not? Yes, I think they are. So don't fight the trend, and may the trend be with you.